Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror, not to fix your hair, not to check your appearance, but to ask yourself, who am I really? Not the name, not the job title, not the role you play for others, but the real you. The one behind the labels, the silence, the pressure. The version of you that's been buried under expectations, heartbreak, failure, and even fear. Because here's the truth, brother. Most men don't see themselves clearly. They either overestimate what they've achieved or underestimate the power they carry deep within. And until you change the way you see yourself, you'll keep living the same version of your life on repeat. But this, what you're about to hear, will change that forever. This video is not just information, it's transformation. This is the wake-up call your soul has been waiting for. It's the voice of the man you were always meant to become, calling you back to yourself. And once you hear it, you'll never be able to unhear it. You'll walk differently, you'll speak with certainty, you'll stop chasing validation from others because you'll understand your worth came with your breath, not with their approval. So what's ahead in this video? We're diving deep into 4 powerful chapters, each one designed to confront a false image of yourself and replace it with the truth. A truth so powerful, it will reset your mindset, your confidence, and your identity as a man. You'll learn why your inner critic isn't telling you the truth and how to silence it, how society trains you to doubt yourself, and how to break free. Why real self-worth doesn't come from success, but from something deeper. And how to finally become the man you respect when no one else is watching. We'll draw from ancient wisdom, real-life stories, and powerful mental strategies that have shaped the minds of Stoic warriors, powerful leaders, and ordinary men who became unstoppable when they finally saw themselves clearly. Why does this matter? Because as long as you live disconnected from your true self, you'll keep searching for meaning in all the wrong places, in other people's approval, in relationships that drain you, in money that never feels like enough, in habits that numb you but never heal you. But when you finally see yourself, really see yourself, you'll understand you were never lacking. You were just living from a story that never belonged to you in the first place. This video is about rewriting that story with clarity, strength, and purpose. So whether you're a young man trying to find your way, or an older man recovering from years of silence, shame, or broken dreams, know this. It's never too late to change the way you see yourself. And when you do, the world will change how it sees you too. If you're ready for that shift, if you're ready to stop existing and start living with power, vision, and dignity, then this video is for you. Stick around through all 4 chapters. They were crafted with precision to challenge you, teach you, and elevate you. And before we dive in, remember this. Great men aren't born. They are revealed through self-awareness, self-respect, and self-mastery. And that journey begins right now. Before we begin, here's your mission. Like this video if it already speaks to your soul. Share it with another man who needs to see himself more clearly. Subscribe to Stoicism King if you're serious about growth, masculinity, and wisdom. And most importantly, comment below with this: I'm ready to see the real me. Let's flood the comments with men who are done hiding and ready to rise. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The mask you wear is not who you are. Have you ever been inclined to believe that the version of yourself the world sees is the real you? It's not. And deep down, you already know that. Because somewhere between childhood and manhood, you were taught to put on a mask. Not the physical kind, the emotional one. The one that says, I'm fine when you're hurting. The one that pretends to be confident when you're full of doubt. The one that acts strong while you're silently falling apart inside. The world doesn't reward truth, it rewards appearances. And so you learn the rules early. Smile when you feel empty. Nod when you want to scream. Hustle like you're built for it, even when your soul is starving for peace. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. The longer you wear the mask, the more you forget who you are underneath it. Why do we put on the mask? Because the world convinces us that our real self, our vulnerable, confused, evolving self, is not enough. You're told, don't be soft. Real men don't cry. Get over it. Toughen up. And so instead of expressing pain, you bury it. Instead of asking for help, you suffer in silence. Instead of admitting fear, you fake bravery. But make no mistake, brother, faking is not strength, it's survival. You weren't born to survive. You were born to lead, to build, to stand tall in your truth. But how can you lead when you've lost touch with your own identity? How can you walk in strength when the man walking through life isn't even the real you? You are not the mask. You are not the roles you play. You may be a provider. You may be a leader. You may be a son, a father, a friend. But you are not only those things. At your core, you are something much deeper. You are a soul, wired with purpose, pain, passion, and potential. You are a man with layers of history, emotion, wisdom, and truth. And every time you silence a piece of that truth to keep others comfortable, you lose a part of yourself. The real you doesn't need approval. The mask does. The real you doesn't fear rejection. The mask does. The real you isn't afraid to stand alone. The mask can't survive without being liked. So ask yourself, when you walk into a room, when you speak to a woman, when you face a challenge, when you scroll through social media, are you being seen or are you just being accepted? Because being accepted for who you pretend to be is a betrayal of who you really are. And no amount of praise can heal that kind of wound. Here's the truth that will change everything. Every man wears a mask until he's brave enough to take it off. Not for the world, but for himself. The moment you remove it, the moment you allow yourself to feel what you feel without shame, that's the moment you start to become whole. And wholeness is power, not the fake, loud kind, the quiet, grounded kind that can't be shaken by anyone's opinion. Ancient Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's not about pretending. That's about being. It's about removing the need to perform and replacing it with the desire to align your thoughts, your actions, your values, and your identity. No more contradictions, no more hidden pain, no more being one man in public and another in private. You want peace? That's where it lives, not in money, not in status, in congruence. But how do you start removing the mask? You start small. When someone asks how you're doing, be honest. When something hurts, acknowledge it. When you're confused, admit it. When you're tired, rest. When you're wrong, own it. When you're unsure, ask questions. It's not weakness, it's self-respect. You cannot heal what you won't admit exists. And the man who has the courage to face himself without filters, without denial, without shame, that man becomes unstoppable because he no longer fears exposure. And once you no longer fear exposure, nothing can control you. What will happen when you take off the mask? Yes, some people might pull away, but here's what matters. The right ones will come closer. And more importantly, you'll come closer to yourself. You'll sleep better. You'll breathe deeper. You'll speak with more clarity and less anxiety because you're no longer performing, you're living. And brother, that's when you begin to reclaim your true power, not the mask, not the fake version of success, but the unshakable man who knows himself and doesn't need permission to be him. So here's the challenge. Tonight, before you go to sleep, look in the mirror, not to fix, but to ask one honest question. What mask am I still wearing? And what will it cost me if I keep wearing it? You owe yourself that truth. Because once you find the courage to take off the mask, you'll finally see the man you were born to be. And trust me, he's been waiting for you. Drop a comment below. When was the last time you took off your mask and showed your true self? Chapter 2. Silence. The inner critic. Your greatest enemy is within. Have you ever been inclined to let your own mind convince you that you're not enough? That no matter what you do, you'll always fall short? That the goals you set are too big? the mistakes you made are unforgivable, or the future is just too uncertain. If you have, you're not alone. Because the loudest and most relentless voice you'll ever hear is the one inside your own head, your inner critic. This voice can be a subtle whisper or a crushing roar. It questions your every move, magnifies every failure, and shrinks your worth with every negative thought. It's the saboteur disguised as your conscience. Why does this inner critic exist? It's not there to punish you. In fact, it started out as a protector, a part of your brain wired to keep you safe from harm, rejection, or failure. But somewhere along the way, it turned against you. What was once caution became self-doubt. What was once wisdom became fear. And the more you listen, the more it convinces you you're not good enough. You don't deserve happiness. You'll never be successful. But here's the powerful truth. Your inner critic is lying to you, not because it's evil, but because it's mistaken. It judges you not on facts, but on fears. It measures your worth based on past wounds, not present reality. And it traps you in a loop of self-sabotage that keeps you stuck. So how do you silence this voice? First, you must recognize it for what it is, a fear-based illusion, not the truth. When you hear the voice say, "You can't do this," respond with, "Who says?" When it tells you you'll fail, counter with, "I learn and grow." When it screams, "You're worthless," remind yourself, "I am enough, exactly as I am." Awareness is the first step. You have to become the observer of your thoughts instead of their victim. Imagine sitting on the shore watching waves of self-doubt crash by, but you don't have to drown in them. You see them, acknowledge them, and let them pass. This practice, rooted in ancient mindfulness and Stoic philosophy, is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Your mind gives you power over your reality, but only if you take control." Next, replace the critic with a stronger ally, your inner champion. This is the voice of courage, resilience, and self-belief. It reminds you of your past victories, your strengths, and your capacity to overcome. It is the voice that says, "Keep going, you are worthy, and your story isn't over." To strengthen this voice, practice daily affirmations grounded in truth. I am capable. I grow from my mistakes. I am worthy of success and happiness. Surround yourself with allies who reinforce your inner champion. Find men who uplift you, who see your value even when you don't. Seek wisdom from mentors, books, and teachings that nurture your growth. Distance yourself from voices that echo your inner critic and drag you down. Remember, you become the average of the company you keep. Choose your circle wisely. The power of self-compassion cannot be overstated. Many men are taught to be hard on themselves, believing toughness means self-criticism. But real strength comes from kindness toward yourself, especially when you fail or fall short. Imagine treating yourself the way you would treat your best friend, patient, encouraging, understanding. Self-compassion heals the wounds that fuel your inner critic. It builds resilience, and it opens the door for real growth. Why is this so important? Because the voice inside your head is the lens through which you see the world and yourself. If it's toxic, everything looks dark and hopeless. If it's supportive, you find light and possibility in every challenge. Changing your relationship with your inner critic transforms how you live every day. You stop waiting for permission to act. You step into your purpose with confidence. You become the man who no longer needs to be perfect, only real. Whenever self-doubt creeps in, pause, name the voice. Call out its lies. Replace them with truth. Over time, this rewires your mind. Your inner champion grows louder, and your life follows. Tonight's reflection. When the inner critic shows up, what will you say back? Drop a comment below. How do you silence your inner critic and boost your confidence? Chapter 3. True worth comes from within, not from what you own or achieve. Have you ever been inclined to believe that your value as a man depends on your success, your possessions, or what others think of you? It's one of the biggest traps you can fall into. In a world obsessed with status, money, and external achievements, many men tie their self-worth to these fleeting things. They think, if I have the perfect job, the right car, or the admiration of others, then I'll finally be enough. But here's a truth that's simple, yet revolutionary. Your true worth is not in what you have or what you do, it's in who you are beneath it all. Why does this matter so much? Because when you base your worth on external things, you live in constant fear of losing, failing, or not measuring up. Your confidence becomes fragile, dependent on circumstances outside your control. Imagine building a house on sand. No matter how grand the house is, a storm will shake it. But when you build on rock, the rock of self-worth from within, that house stands unshaken. So how do you build this unshakable foundation? It starts with knowing that your value is inherent. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to prove it. You were born with dignity simply because you exist. This is not arrogance. It's self-recognition. It's the realization that you are more than your job title, your bank account, or your relationship status. You are a human being with unique gifts, struggles, and potential. Ancient wisdom echoes this truth. The Stoics taught that virtue, not wealth or fame, is the true measure of a man. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This means a man with little money but integrity, kindness, and courage is richer than a king with gold but no honor. True wealth is the richness of character. This mindset shift changes everything. You stop chasing approval. You stop feeling less than because you don't own the latest gadget or wear the trendiest clothes. You stop fearing failure because failure doesn't define you. Your worth is your compass. When you walk through life knowing your inherent value, you make decisions from a place of strength. You say no to things that don't serve you. You pursue goals aligned with your values, not just status. You build relationships based on respect, not just convenience. How do you nurture this inner worth? Practice gratitude for who you are today, not just who you want to become. Focus on your virtues, honesty, bravery, patience, kindness. Reflect daily on your progress, not perfection. Accept your flaws as part of your humanity. Serve others without expecting reward, because generosity grows your soul. Remember, brother, self-worth is a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, every time you stand for your values instead of the crowd, you're training this muscle. What happens when you embrace your true worth? You become a magnet for genuine respect, not because you demand it, but because your confidence and authenticity draw others in naturally. You stop seeking validation because you already feel whole. And when you know your worth, you'll never settle for less than you deserve. Tonight's reflection. What is one way you can remind yourself daily that your worth is not tied to what you own or achieve? Drop a comment below. How do you remind yourself of your true worth every day? Chapter 4. Embrace your journey. Growth is the ultimate power. Have you ever been inclined to compare yourself to others and feel like you're falling behind? To look at where you are now and judge your entire worth by how far you have or haven't come? If so, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the biggest obstacles standing between you and the man you want to be. We live in a world of highlight reels and instant success stories. Social media shows the best moments, the peak achievements, the flawless versions of others. And it's easy to forget that every great man you admire has been exactly where you are now, starting from struggle, uncertainty, and failure. So the truth is this: growth is not linear, it's messy, it's unpredictable, it's full of setbacks, detours, and moments where you want to quit. But growth is also the ultimate power you have as a man. Why? Because it means you're alive, it means you're evolving, it means you're choosing progress over perfection. When you embrace your journey with all its imperfections, you stop being a victim of circumstances, you stop letting failures define you, you stop fearing the future. Instead, you become the architect of your own life. How do you shift your mindset from judgment to growth? First, understand that every challenge is a lesson in disguise. Every failure is a step forward in wisdom. Every pain is an opportunity for deeper strength. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, well, what can I learn? Instead of focusing on what's lost, focus on what's gained. This mindset is not just motivational fluff. It's backed by the greatest minds throughout history. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, reminds us, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This means progress depends on your daily habits, your consistent efforts, and your willingness to keep moving forward, even when it's hard. Growth demands patience. You cannot sprint through life's lessons. You must trust the process, knowing that every small action builds your future self. Self-forgiveness is crucial here. You will make mistakes, you will stumble, but forgiving yourself clears the path for growth. Holding on to guilt or shame only keeps you stuck in the past. Another key, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Too often, men overlook their progress because it's not dramatic enough. But every victory, every habit formed, every moment you choose to rise instead of fall deserves recognition. Your journey is unique. Comparison steals your joy and clouds your vision. Your path is shaped by your values, your struggles, your lessons. Embrace it. Own it. Ultimately, growth is freedom. It frees you from the prison of who you were told you should be. It frees you to become who you truly are. It frees you to live fully and fiercely. Tonight's reflection, what is one small step you can take tomorrow that your future self will thank you for? Drop a comment below. What's one step you're taking today to grow into the man you want to be?